Alright, today is day number 24 of trying to reach 1500 on chess.com. Let's queue up for a game. We have the white pieces. We're against a 1389 from the country of Spain. Let's go with e4 here. So, okay, he responds with knight f6. Is this theory? Aren't I supposed to just kick his knight? We're on move 1 and I'm already out of theory? That's crazy. Let's just develop our knight to c3. He pushes a pawn. I guess I'll just take. Yeah, it's looking like we're just going to end up trading some pieces off. But his queen is out a little bit early. I'm just going to look to develop some pieces and just castle and, I don't know, have a fine game. Now his bishop coming to g4 could be a problem. So maybe h3 is a good move. Also, his knight could want to come to b4, maybe not yet, but so let's play pawn h3, get the bishop out maybe to e2, or I could play c3, prevent the knight from hopping in. I think I like c3 a little bit here. c3 looks solid. So yeah, we're on move 7 and already just completely, I have no clue what to do. I'm just going to start following principles. I think my opponent might be also out of theory. So yeah, he castles on the queen side, and it's looking like I'm going to castle on the king side. So we're probably in for a very crazy game. This bishop needs something to do. Maybe I could fianchetto with g4. Then he might go here. I go here. Because if my bishop's on this diagonal, it wouldn't be very useful. It'd be better on this diagonal. But I'm not sure how that currently is going to work. But if I play g4, pawn to g4, then if the bishop goes back, okay, if I play pawn to g4, more than likely he might play bishop to e4, after which I can play bishop to g2, and I don't see any immediate problems with that. Well, I guess maybe if he hops the knight in. If he hops the knight in, what do I do? Takes, and then I lose. So if he hops the knight in, I think I'm in trouble if he hops the knight in. Hold up. Let's just play bishop e2. Let's keep it simple. Develop the bishop to a square. It's a passive square, I'm not gonna lie. I may have had to play g4 there and I just didn't see it, but I didn't like what would have happened after, as I said, knight hopping in. So for now, let's just keep it simple. Keep it simple. He's pushing e5. He's obviously, trying to take space in the center. I am thinking of just castling and just launching an attack once my king is safe. If I castle and he pushes the pawn, where do I put my knight? I put my knight here. Then there's takes. Hold up. Takes. If I put my knight here, there's takes. I'm losing a pawn, which is not good. But if I castle, kick, maybe I go here. Okay, yeah, let's just castle. This bishop is, yeah, as predicted, he's gonna kick, but we'll just go back to h2. The knight can kind of help to defend the king from some Petruvius squares. I don't know if that's a word. I just made it up. Actually, no, I'm gonna Google that word. Nah, I gotta lock in. I'm not gonna be Googling random words in the middle of the chess game. Also, as I'm recording this, I am at, let me quickly check, 945 subs, which is actually insane. So yeah, I want to thank each and every one of you who subscribed. So yeah, it's pretty epic. We're almost at 1,000, which would be awesome. Can't wait to reach it. Hopefully I will, and it won't just start going down. But yeah, bishop to d6, that's a good move. That's a very good move. He's putting the bishop on a very active diagonal. Now the bishop's hitting my knight. Yeah, this knight is a tad bit misplaced, and by a tad bit I mean very misplaced. Yeah, this knight's very misplaced. Can I push the... Okay, I think I'm losing already. Okay, how does this always happen to me? Oh, maybe I could play bishop here. And then takes. My knight can get back on e3. So bishop here. Yeah, I think bishop here is solid. What if he goes... Oh, what if he goes queen here? I guess I just block. With g3. Yeah. So this bishop needs to get developed. Oh, he takes that first. But it's fine. I can just recapture with the king. But it is bad that I didn't consider that as an option. But this pawn and the queen are defending the bishop, so that's completely fine. It's not like I removing the guard tactic because that bishop had 3 defenders. So, I mean, you remove one of them, I still have 2 more. So it's fine, but a bit shady that I didn't realize he was actually capable of taking the knight with a check, which is, you know, the most forcing move. In chess, you generally want to, you know, calculate your checks first, then your captures, then your threats. So a bit bad that I didn't see that that was a possibility on the board, but we have to move on from there. Now he has played rook to g8, which means this game is about to get crazy very, very quickly. Now what I'm seeing is that I could force a queen trade by taking this bishop with a check. The queen recaptures. I play queen to g4. And the queens come off the board. Is that beneficial for me? I'm not sure. Maybe I could... Yeah, takes. Queen here. What can he do after that? The queen... What is trading here beneficial? Because my pawns are going to be doubled on the g file. Could be problematic, actually. I'm not sure. This bishop is still dead, but I can't even push d3 or even d4 because of en passant. Okay, take the bishop. Queen takes. Queen here. If we somehow end up trading, how do I make this bishop become useful? Is the bishop just going to be stuck? The bishop really wants to be on g3 or f4 on this really nice diagonal, but at the current moment I'm not seeing how to do that. But I don't think taking here is right. I think I have to try and activate this bishop somehow. Actually, no, scratch that. The queens need to come off the board. The queens need to come off the board. The realization just hit me that the queen and the rook were both on the d file, and if this bishop were to get developed off of this square, this pawn would be like, because this pawn can't push, it's gonna take a bit. It's gonna take a bit. Queen here. Yeah, I think let's just get the queens off the board. The pawns will be doubled, but I think this position is probably just gonna trickle down to a draw, because I'm guessing he's gonna take, or he might not take. If he doesn't take, he'll have to defend the queen or move the queen back here. Okay, he chooses to defend the queen. That's a good move. I don't immediately have to take though. If I do take, he's gonna recapture. Then I guess I could attack his pawn, and he has 2 options to defend it. He can move the knight back or move the rook over, or I could just play rook here from the start. This bishop again is just suffering a cruel fate. If I take and he recaptures, yeah, his knight doesn't really have anywhere to get into the position, but yeah, this bishop is dead. I'm genuinely clueless as to how I'm supposed to develop this bishop. I'm genuinely clueless. Get the rook on the file, maybe. Rook on the file. If he takes, we recapture. Then he is tasked with defending this pawn, which he'll have to do by playing f5. He can't take this because his queen is pinned. Yeah, I think this is a decent move. This bishop is just cooked. This bishop is actually just, I'm basically down a bishop. If you think about it, like, I'm practically down a bishop because this bishop is doing nothing. And because this bishop is doing nothing, this rook is doing nothing. Now I could try for maybe like, wait, maybe I could actually try for b4 and no, like b3 and then get the bishop on this diagonal. But then this pawn hangs, which is not good. So let's go ahead and recapture that queen first. Now he's tasked with defending e4, which he at the current moment cannot actually do. If he tries f5, I just take. He recaptures and we're up a pawn. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, f5, I expected that much, but I can just take. He recaptures, and when I take here, I'm just up a pawn. I don't see if he has anything dangerous here. Always have to look out for anything, any tactics. If he has any sacrificing ideas. Nope, I'm not seeing any. Now I can actually push d4 and get the bishop out. Okay, so this bishop is no longer a dead bishop. So we have successfully given this bishop a little bit of life. Okay, yeah, he pushes g5. g5. Is he just trying to keep pushing? Yeah, let's push d4 here. Yeah, d4 is really solid here. The bishop's gonna get active. Then I'm gonna try and get my rook like double up on the e file if I'm able to. So yeah, the position has quickly turned from really weird to less really weird, I guess. What I will do now actually is I'll attack the knight. And if he moves the knight, then I'm going to be able to get a free pawn because I have two defenders. If he defends the knight with this, then I get that. But if he defends the knight with this, then I don't get that. But I think attacking the knight here is correct. None of these bishop moves make sense. Bishop d3 is doing nothing. It's just wasting a move. Bishop e3 is also wasting a move because the bishop's stuck between two pawns. The bishop really wants to get to either f4 or g5. So I think let's attack the knight. Again, I don't calculate him having any sacrificing ideas. When the rook is one square away from the knight, there's generally, well, there's not generally, there is no way for the rook to attack the knight on the next move. And it would take about 3 moves or 2 moves for him to attack. Okay, so he defends with the correct rook. I need to get my other rook in the game. I'm playing with 2 less pieces than him at the current moment. Maybe I should just go here. He might actually take my bishop, which wouldn't make any sense because my bishop's useless. But if he does take my bishop, I'll recapture. I have an isolated pawn. Wait. Takes, or here. Takes. He may try to put the rook on f2. And then maybe, oh no, the knight's not there anymore. Bishop e3. Maybe even b3 and try to put the bishop on this diagonal. Maybe that's better actually. It doesn't make sense to put the bishop here and just give him like clear lines to like infiltrate. So pawn to b3 looks pretty logical here. Try to get the bishop on a3. Yeah. The bishop really wants to be on f4 though. How can I... Okay, what if I play g3 and push f4? Oh, that's actually good. g3, f4. What if I just push f4 now? Push f4. Then he's going to push actually. So g3, f4. What? Then what if he pushes? Then the bishop's dead anyways, so... Maybe the bishop was never going to find life. Excuse me. Maybe the bishop was never going to find life on that side of the board. Let me quickly check if I'm at the same amount of subs or if I've gained subs while recording this video. Okay, we're still at 9:45, but when you're watching this, it might be different. It might still be 9:45. Who knows? So yes. What shall my opponent choose to play now? He pushes the pawn. Interesting. Now my bishop could find its way to f4 and then just planting, like planting chips. What am I saying? Yes, but then he could move the knight, and okay, yeah, I think f4 is a good move because it stops any ideas of him like doing any of this stuff. So bishop f4, yeah, the bishop has found its home on f4 certainly. If he moves the knight anywhere to attack my bishop, it won't be a square that attacks my rook. So I could always just move the bishop and it's fine. And there's also no square that gives a check. And if he sacks, oh, he could actually sack. If I go here, he could sack, I take, and he takes. Wait, hold up. If I go here, he could actually sack. Wait, no. If I go here and he sacks, I take, he takes, I take, but then he takes on f2, and that's a problem. Yeah, this bishop is just struggling, man. So what if I play g3 first to prepare f4? g3 first, then we can plant the bishop on f4 and swing the other rook over. That is solid chess. Oof, I am just too good at this game. I shouldn't have said that. I'm just gonna jinx myself, and I don't know why I said that, but we are playing some pretty logical moves here. We're thinking out our thought process. We're looking at potential weaknesses in the position, and the position's not looking too bad. Oh, he pushed h4. What does that move do? For one, if he takes, or let's say I play bishop c4. If he takes, I can recapture with the pawn, and then he might give a check. I go over, and I think I'm fine. And if I go here and he pushes, then my king's in a bit of a pickle, but it's fine. Bishop f4, swing the other rook over. We're up a pawn, so nothing to be worried about there. I don't think he has anything that works, so hopefully we've done something right and we can just convert. He's not used up most of his time, based on what I'm seeing. Well, as you can see from the clock, I don't know why I said based on what I'm seeing. Like, you can clearly see he hasn't used up a lot of his time, and we have used up a decent bit of our time just making thinking moves. Okay. He wants to take. That is what rook to h8 is telling me. He does in fact want to take. And when he takes, I will be unable to take back. I'll have to move my king. That's interesting. If he takes and I'm forced to go over here, then he gets this, and that's really scary. Okay, he has actually found quite a good move actually. Yeah, rook to h8 is pretty good. If I immediately try to activate, or I could play rook to h1, and if he takes, I go here. I got disconnected there, and I just made a move because I didn't want to like have it lag out. But so I played rook to h1. The reason being is because if he takes, I can go here, and then if he takes and takes, it's fine, I think. Yeah, that messed me up. Yeah, the Wi-Fi cutting out messed me up so much. That actually messed me up. I think I might lose now because I wasn't able to find the right move. I was just trying to not to get disconnected. So that's quite unfortunate, but what am I supposed to do about that? So if he takes now and I recapture, he's going to take on f2. Then I go g2. I think that works. Okay, he's going to take on f2. I'm down a pawn now. That's, ah, man. This is why you need functioning Wi-Fi to play chess. I can't even play chess. So how my Wi-Fi is so terrible. If I go here, he has this check, winning my bishop. I think I've just lost. Wait, what? What am I supposed to play here? He's just up a pawn and there's not much I can do to stop him. Yeah, I think I've just lost. I think I've actually just lost because I have to go here. Like there's only literally one way to stop this promotion. And it's to go king to g2, but then he's just gonna play knight check. And I have to either take or go here, and then he's just gonna win my bishop. Well, I guess I might as well just hope he doesn't find knight h4. Cause like, what else am I supposed to do? Like, there's nothing else I can do. I have to stop him from promoting this pawn and making a queen. Like, this is just a very unfortunate position to find myself in. He doesn't find it. Interesting. Now if I take and he takes, I can't take because then he promotes. Okay, so he didn't find knight to h4, but this position is still just as bad. I guess I could take the knight. He recaptures. I take this pawn. No, that doesn't even work. Does he still have knight here? Do I just have to go king back? Because he still has this knight check, doesn't he? This is, if I win this, I want you to know it's by sheer luck. Now he has this check. So I guess it really did nothing. Me going king f1, like he still has that check. Oh no, he doesn't have that check because the bishop covers that square. But yeah, if I win this, I want you to know it's by sheer luck. He literally has two pass pawns barreling down the board at my king. My bishop and rook are so uncoordinated right now. I had to make a bad move because of the Wi-Fi. Like I thought it made sense, but I just didn't want to get disconnected and lose ELO. But it's looking like I'm going to lose ELO anyways because of the loss that I'm about to take. Because I just don't see how I escape this position. But with that being said, I have a minute left on the clock. He is taking his time. Okay. That's a bad move though. That's a pawn. Wait, what? Is he fumbling the bag? That's a pawn. That's a pawn? I think he's fumbling the bag. Wait, I think he just fumbled the bag. I think he actually just fumbled the bag. He had a free win there and he missed the right move like twice. Or he never had a win and I'm going to have to check the analysis on that one, but that's actually crazy. Bishop g3 and it's looking kind of good for me here. Wait, what? Like I even have some ideas like this, but will probably never work. But his knight's under attack. If he moves to, let's say, g6, okay, he moved to g6. I can just attack this pawn. Where does the knight go? If the knight goes here, I just take and I've regained the lost pawn because I had a pawn advantage and I'm going to be getting the pawn advantage back. Oh, yo, this is crazy. I have no good reason to be in this position right now and not completely lost. If he had found knight to h4 back then, I would have been lost. But he didn't find knight to h4 and it's looking like we may have a win on our hands, boys and girls. Well, not boys and girls, because when I look at my analytics on my videos, it's 100% males, and on my shorts, it's like 90% males and like 4% females. So I would have to just say boys. Like, I can't say ladies and gentlemen because I'm exclusively talking to men, unless people lie on the YouTube thing about their gender and there's actually females watching this. But I don't know. I'm just looking at what YouTube is showing me. I don't actually know the person behind the screen. So yeah. Okay, so my opponent is thinking for quite a decent bit of time here, which means he probably is maybe looking at his move right now, or he's trying to see like where he went wrong. But yeah, I don't see how he's stopping my rook from taking on f2. He has nowhere to move this. Yeah, that's just I can just take this. Yeah, he's gonna take back, and I'm gonna take this free pawn. I'm up a pawn now. If we trade off, I have a pawn on the d. Yeah, I just win this. Get my king in the game. Push my king. It might be a draw actually, but I think I'm winning this. Push the pawns. We gotta push the pawns in the end game. We gotta push the pawns. Push the pawns. Push the pawns. Yes, push the pawns. All the pawns are on the 4th rank. My pawns are like a set of, all my pawns are like a set of squares ahead of his pawns, along with the fact that I'm also ahead of pawn. This is like the formula for absolute chess greatness. Maybe that's going to be the title of this video. Or I could just have road to 1500, but who knows. Let's see what my opponent chooses to play at this current moment in time. Also, it is currently 3:30 a.m. 3:30 a.m. in Jamaica. Well, I think Jamaica and USA are like maybe an hour apart. I don't know. I know there's like daylight saving time. I don't know when America, like I think 30% of my audience on the long form videos is US. So you guys probably know what I'm talking about with daylight saving time. Okay. He pushes. If I take, he's going to recapture. And then I get this check. King. Hold up. Takes. Wait, takes. What does he play? No. Takes. It's my turn. I push. King goes here. I could flank him. Does that work? Do I just push here? Okay, taking might have led to the game being a draw, but I feel like this is correct. He's going to go over here. Oh, I think I messed up. I messed up. If I go here, he gets into here. Wait, I messed up. Here, I messed up. I should have pushed. I knew I should have pushed. If I go here, he's going to go here. I go here. And even when do I have to go here? He goes here, I go here. Maybe I go here, he goes here, I go here. I think I messed this up. Because he gets king to d5 now. But I think I blundered a draw. I should have pushed. Definitely. I think I can still win this though. Right? I mean, if he makes the correct king moves, yeah, I should have pushed. I should have never took there. Oh, his king has to move away from a square and I can push d5 after that. Yeah, I think I should be fine here. His king has to move and then I can push pawn to d5 and be completely fine. Yeah, I can push pawn to d5 now. I'm winning, right? Like, I have to be winning. My king's closer to this pawn, which he really has no way of defending. If he doesn't take and goes like here, I just take and I can step to b5 and I'm just winning. Okay, he takes the pawn. Let's just recapture with our king. And as you can see right here, our king is going to be giving the golden carpet to this pawn. He resigns. Let's quickly check the analysis. So yeah, let's just go through this quickly. Everything here was book move. Should I have kicked here actually? That's also a book move, but that's a bit of theory that I don't know. Yeah, this opening was actually kind of crazy. That was already wrong. I should have put a pawn in the center. Yeah, I am definitely, yeah. Me not putting a pawn in the center there made my dark squared bishop very hard to develop, as we later figured out. Yeah, here I'm completely losing. I'm actually losing terribly here. Yeah, I'm actually losing horribly here. What? I'm losing so terribly here, but then he plays knight to e7, which blunders a draw. After rook e1, which I played, takes, and I'm up a pawn, but it's a draw. So yeah, everything's fine from here. I'm up a pawn. Yeah, the bishop solidifies in. Yeah, as I said, the Wi-Fi problem caused me to play that because I didn't want to get disconnected. And here I'm just completely lost, like completely lost. All he had to do was find, I think this also worked. Yeah, that also works. But he did not find it. And that move completely gives me the win because I can take the pawn. And then it's just smooth sailing. Well, smoothish sailing. We're both making mistakes. Here it's actually a draw if he just doesn't trade off. But he chooses to trade off and give me the win. And then I'm curious if me taking here blunders a draw. No, it does not. Yeah, I just need to flank him and then he won't be able to defend the d5 push. So yeah, now we're up to 14-16. Again, by sheer luck. I don't know how these wins keep finding me. I guess I'm just a lucky chess player. But yeah, up to 14-16 now. So yeah, take care.